In our lives, we are often confronted with our own versions of impossibility. Dreams that seem light years away, goals that appear distant galaxies apart. But what if the concept of impossible is nothing more than a limitation imposed by our own minds? We have seen Roger Bannister run the first ever 4-minute mile. Einstein comes up with the theory of relativity, and the Wright brothers fly for the first time. They remind us that the boundaries of what we perceive as impossible are often illusory. They serve as beacons of inspiration, showing that with peak performance, we can dare to pursue dreams that seem out of reach. The Art of Impossible, a Peak Performance Primer by Steven Kotler, gives a roadmap to navigate the terrain of the seemingly impossible. You don't have to be born a peerless genius to achieve the impossible. Exceptional talent or intellectual prowess is no guarantee of exceptional achievement. What truly sets apart those who accomplish seemingly impossible feats is not their innate superiority, but rather their unwavering commitment to pushing beyond their limitations and relentlessly pursuing their dreams. All those elite performers consistently perform at the peak of their abilities, pushing themselves beyond what they thought possible. But how do they maintain this extraordinary level of commitment and drive? From the science side of things, it's because their neurochemistry supports their high-performance habits. Our brains consist of neurochemicals that regulate our bodies and let us function. These neurochemicals also drive all our decisions, behaviors, and habits. When we're trying to focus on accomplishing something, 6 rewards neurochemicals play a role. Dopamine focuses your attention. Oxytocin promotes feelings of trust and love for others. Serotonin elicits feelings of contentment and satisfaction. Endorphins relieve anxiety. Norepinephrine boosts your energy levels. And anandamide, which stimulates happiness. All these 6 rewards can work together, creating a neurochemical cocktail that contributes to a positive feedback loop, reinforcing high-performance habits and driving us to consistently push ourselves beyond our limits. Now the question is, how to activate and blend all those 6 neurochemicals? Flow is where you can engage all of those 6 reward neurochemicals at one time. It's a psychological state characterized by complete absorption in an activity, where we're fully immersed and perform at our best. We often refer to it as being in the zone, or runner's high. During flow states, reward neurochemicals are released in the brain. This is the state where time seems to vanish. Self-consciousness fades away, and our performance reaches its peak. Achieving flow states is a trainable skill. Kotler refers to the 4 stages of the flow cycle: struggle, release, flow, and recovery. First, it always starts with a struggle. This phase is where we feel challenged and our brains are overloaded with information to the point of frustration. The second stage is release, to literally let go of what we're struggling to achieve. Doing something fun that we can play around with can relieve us from the stress hormones that previously flooded the system during the struggle phase. After we find our rhythm, we're finally creating a flow, a state where we feel and perform at our best. You might think this is the best phase, but we must remember that flow takes a big toll on our central nervous system and body. It requires a ton of resources and taps into reserves we've been building up for a long time in preparation for flow. That's why the last phase is recover. It takes a while for the body to recover and replenish after we spend all of our focus. Give the body the time it deserves and don't rush back into the next struggle phase so quickly to avoid burnout. But getting to the flow is not the only key to achieving peak performance. We also need motivation, learning, and creativity. We need to know our needs, that is, intrinsic motivations, before we can utilize goals as a way of fulfilling those needs. Motivation helps us find a purpose. It acts as our North Star, providing us with the direction from which all of our other actions will follow. Once we discover the motivation, it's crucial to sustain that drive by embracing a lifelong learning mindset. By continuously seeking knowledge and growth, we can maintain our passion and momentum. Learning becomes the key to nurturing self-awareness, enabling us to identify areas that require improvement and ensuring that there are no weak links in our pursuits. This continuous learning, then, will ultimately improve our creative thinking. It becomes easy for us to produce novel and useful ideas. The more ideas we can expose ourselves to, the more ways we can potentially combine them to create something new. So, whenever we see the impossible become possible, we are witnessing the end result of a quartet of skills: motivation, learning, creativity, and flow. In our peak performance, we are all capable of so much more than we know. Some of us just want more productivity. Others simply want a more meaningful life. Someone else may even want to be the first person to drive a flying car. Peak performance works like compound interest. A little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, and a little bit every day adds up to massive gains over time. By consistently making improvements and progress each day, even if they seem small at the time, we can achieve significant breakthroughs and remarkable achievements. As we all share the same biology, the formula is always the same. And the secret to peak performance is getting our biology to work for us rather than against us. Remember that peak performance is not just about achieving external success. It's about reaching our highest potential and finding fulfillment in the process.